Because in trauma, we have to keep in mind that the body has a memory. And so it's just not enough to work with those emotions. You have to engage the body in activities that allow it to release, all right, what has been a sensation of not being able to escape the terror that has been presented to me. You know, that the body hasn't been able to complete the motion that it would normally complete in order to survive, is one way of putting it. But the body does have a memory. And it's going to be very important that we engage youngsters in those activities that allow for the body release of all that stress, as well as the, changing the experiences for that youngster. Trauma also alters the way that we look at ourselves, the way that we look at everyone around us. As soon as flights resumed after 9/11, I was on a flight out to Texas, so it was about a 3-hour flight, 3.5-hour flight. And halfway through the flight, I needed to use the restroom, so I get up and I'm walking down, the aisle of the plane to the back of the plane. And I get about halfway down the aisle, and that's when I get a little nervous, because that's when I actually realized what I was observing. And what I was observing was, first of all, nobody was sleeping. Many of you fly, some people hit that seat and they go, their eyes are shut right away. No one had their face in their laptop or their DVD, or no one was reading a book. They were all looking at me with these big eyes. So they were actually following me down the aisle. And my immediate response was, oh, gee, somebody's going to overreact and think I'm going to do this terrorist thing and, take me down or something. I mean, if you recall, if you can go back there just for a moment, we were all a little aroused following 9/11. If you remember going to the mall, maybe you didn't even go to the mall for a couple of days if you're a mall person, or when you did, you got out of your car a lot differently. I mean, even though you were safe, and even though you were, hundreds of miles away from New York or thousands of miles away, you navigated your environment a little bit differently the first couple of weeks because your sensory system was aroused, all right? You were really, more alert to your environment and the possibilities of danger. And so it really can change how we look at ourselves, how we look at others around us. And of course, kids who are in environments that are continually, unsafe, of course, that arousal, is really sustained at a high level. And so they're constantly on alert for the next bad thing to happen. It also alters the way that we think.